It's going to take a sec. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Curious Explorers. We are here in Asbury Park at
the Jersey Devil Fable Festival.
If you haven't been here before and you're remotely local, please consider coming down. It's amazing. They're incredible vendors. You'll learn a lot about the Jersey Devil.
And about New Jersey folklore, cryptids, hauntings, lots of different stuff. We have tours, we have cornhole, we have movies, we have great artists, and you'll just hang out with some cool people.
Absolutely. Now, I am technically not a New Jersey native, and I only heard about the Jersey Devil, maybe 15 years ago, which sounds crazy. Kathy was very appalled that I didn't know, and I didn't know that the sports team, the Jersey Devils, was remotely connected. I thought it was coincidence. So I'm learning something, and you can too.
Yes.
But Kathy, because I am Jersey Devil naive, it would be great to learn a little bit more. I have a million questions for you, but I would really like to hear more about what I should know.
So the Jersey Devil was originally known as the Leeds Devil, and because the sightings were originally mostly around the Smithville, Leeds area in South Jersey, the stories of the Jersey Devil actually predate the calling it the Jersey Devil. In 1765, there was a series of stories written and published pertaining to what was called the Leeds Devil. And the story goes that in 1735, a woman by the name of Mother Leeds was pregnant with her 13th child. She was probably around 30. She was sick to death of being pregnant, didn't want any more kids, and in a fit of frustration said, "I hope the devil takes this child," which of course at the time
Don't say it.
at the time
we recommend against that.
Tantamount to heresy, right? And so she gave birth to the child, fell in love with him immediately. He was a beautiful bouncing baby boy. Then about 3 hours later, he started to turn into a horrific devil with 8 or 9 feet tall and a 12-foot wingspan, hooves and talons, and tore up the house, wreaked havoc.
As one does.
As one does. And ended up taking off into the Pine Lands and becoming what became known as the Jersey Devil. So the story is told in 1765, but references 1735. But point in fact is the story is based on a series of folklore and mythological stories that had been told for a very long time prior to that. So the story of the Jersey Devil is largely legendary and mythological, but the basis for it is based on phenomena that people did experience prior to Benjamin Franklin taking it and turning it into a story. Very fun.
So, Kath, can I ask some questions? Or
yeah, absolutely.
All right, because I am Jersey Devil fairly naive, other than knowing that it is a thing. So my question is the first of many, is the Jersey Devil immortal?
I would say that would depend on whether or not you think he is a paranormal being, or if you think the Jersey Devil is a cryptid. If the Jersey Devil is a cryptid, no, the Jersey Devil then is a species that has not yet been identified and categorized by science. If the Jersey Devil is a unique, singular creature of paranormal origin, like say Mothman, then yeah, or at least very long lived.
Okay, because we're talking from the 1700s.
Oh, and we're talking from maybe 500 or 600 years before that.
Yeah. Okay, so my next question then, I guess, depends on whether it's a cryptid or some sort of phantom type of immortal creature. Because I thought, first of all, do we know the gender of the Jersey Devil? Has anybody? I mean, I always think of him I think I refer to him as male, but I don't know.
Right.
And the second question would be, like, are there a bunch of Jersey Devils, like a whole little family
Like
living in the Pine Barrens,
Yeah.
or is it one?
So I would say if you think it's a cryptid, that there has to be a population that is breeding. There has to be a breeding population, and that's entirely possible considering the size of the Pine Barrens. So the Pine Barrens is the largest nature preserve in the United States. It's bigger than Yosemite. It's bigger than Yosemite. It's bigger than Yellowstone. It's 250,000 square acres. It's massive. It's very isolated. Large portions of it are uncharted. So yeah, it's totally possible that there could be a small breeding population of an animal that just hasn't popped into, hasn't been categorized yet. It also could be an existing animal that science does know with a genetically mutated, that has been genetically mutated in a very specific area where it's continuing to breed the mutation. I don't personally think either of those are the case, but
what do you think?
I think in most cases you're talking about the misidentification of another animal. However, I think that a lot of the paranormal, especially cryptids, and especially as cryptids become part of folklore because of what the Jersey Devil kind of represents to New Jerseyans, I think he's magic, and I don't think I want to pop the bubble of the Jersey Devil and define him.
Kind of like Santa, but scary and in the Pine Barrens.
So here's the thing about the Jersey Devil is I think the Jersey Devil was perceived as being scary for the first, say, 200 years of the story. But I think the Jersey Devil is seen more as protective now. And I think that he's more like more of an identifier for people from a certain area of New Jersey. So they're not really afraid of him. They're proud of him. And they're proud in a way that it's like, our weirdness is our weirdness. And he's one of us,
So I'm glad you said that, because another question that I had for you is, what is the response of people familiar with this? I'm going to say mythology just because I don't know if we have definitive proof that there is a Jersey Devil, but lots of people have cited him.
Right. So there's both, right? Well, no, there's no definitive proof, but you can have an animal and also have the legend.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and they are definitely two different things. I think that today, people embrace and love the idea of the Jersey Devil. And again, as being uniquely New Jersey and something that unifies a group of people that have incredibly divergent politics and divergent, social structures and cultural structures. That being said, I think that there are parts of New Jersey that are far more identified with the Jersey Devil, who really take ownership of it and have in the past suffered because of their kind of belief in or identity from the area that they're from, that now are defiantly protective and loving towards that. And I think
the Jersey Devil.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I want to just reference that we saw a few minutes before we started recording one of the film festival entrants, whose film was selected to be in this film festival, which is amazing. And what she said is she grew up down south in New Jersey, and her teacher used to use the Jersey Devil lore to scare the kids into being good. So I think that there are people who are very excited about and passionate about the Jersey Devil, and maybe others who are a little frightened. Is there any basis for people being frightened of the Jersey Devil?
Well, I think if the Jersey, the Jersey Devil definitely was a boogeyman. And so historically, the Jersey Devil was used as a way to control behavior and to control locations. And I would say the people who did believe in the Jersey Devil prior to the late 20th century Yeah, the Jersey Devil was scary, and not that there was a whole lot of violence associated with it. It was more scary in the sense that it was the descriptions of there's nothing like it in the animal record. It's not like Bigfoot where you're like, well, maybe it's an ape, maybe it's this. There's nothing like the Jersey Devil in the fossil record. So you would be talking about something that was utterly and completely unique, but and also scary. A big, powerful creature that is a quadruped that can become bipedal, that can literally lift off of the ground. The strength of its wings are so strong that it can lift a 300, 400-pound body into the air and fly treetop to treetop, even though there's really no stories of the Jersey Devil, any like fatalities or anything like that. But certainly it certainly could be terrifying in the way a bear can be terrifying. I mean, if you're talking about an animal, you don't really know its intent or what scares it or why it might attack or whatever. But as far as people being embracing it, it's because it is the cultural identity for people from a specific area in New Jersey, and a specific area that those people have been marginalized, or maybe not as well respected historically. Yeah, were made fun of. I mean, in the Pine Barrens, people were they were called Pineys in a pejorative way, in a derogatory way. And they don't do that anymore. Now they're like proud Pineys, and they're proud of their cultural heritage and proud of their cultural identity. And the Jersey Devil represents that more than anything else. Something. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You look scared right there. I didn't mean to. He's actually a lovely person, not the Jersey Devil at all. Yeah, okay.
Well, the Jersey Devil we're suggesting could be quite lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
Has anyone ever gotten the Jersey Devil on film?
No. I mean, there is very, very, very limited footage of things that people say could be the Jersey, and I mean extremely limited. It's not like Bigfoot where everybody and their mother has footage of Bigfoot. It's not like that. So a couple of things here and there.
I'm hoping, I think I see the Jersey Devil. I'm hoping the Jersey Devil might come on over.
Well, there's a Jersey Devil right up there behind us.
There's a Jersey Devil way up behind us. You can see, but I'm hoping the one that seems, it's so rare to catch them on film. I wonder if we could get that Jersey Devil to come pay us a visit. We'll see if that one will make an appearance. Is there anything else that I should be asking about the Jersey Devil? Because out of the two of us, by far, you are the resident expert, even though I have my special sweatshirt on today because it's really cold out here.
I don't know that there's anything. There's nothing really unique. There's nothing about the Jersey Devil that I think that you kind of have to know. I think the thing that's interesting about the Jersey Devil is that it's woven into history, right? So there are iconic people in history, important people in history who are associated with the stories of the Jersey Devil, including Benjamin Franklin, Stephen Decatur, the King of Spain, Joseph Bonaparte, where they've all, where you have these people who there's folklore around it, where they've been attached to different stories of the Jersey Devil, which go a long way towards talking about the importance of history in New Jersey and how unique New Jersey's history is, and how diverse but also deep it is. To me, the Jersey Devil is interesting because there's not another cryptid like him. He's too big.
He's too big.
Yeah.
He can't move.
A
little known fact about the Jersey Devil.
Well, or at least unfortunately that one. That there's not another creature like him in the United States or any other cryptid that I know of that's very similar to the Jersey Devil. I will say one of the things that we do talk about is he's the first monster in the United States. So before Western Europeans started reporting seeing Bigfoot, they reported seeing the Jersey Devil. Also, that the stories go back longer than Western Europeans are in North America. The Lenapes had an area that they called Popoessing, which was areas in the Pine Barrens that stands for Land of the Dragon, because they would report seeing something like a dragon, which, you know,
That's
the
pretty
Jersey
amazing.
Devil looks like. And when the Dutch were navigating the Molucca River in the 16th century, they called it Drake Kill, which means River of the Dragon. So before we have this folkloric stories, we have people saying, I'm seeing this thing. And, you know, it's an area large enough they could have been seeing it. So to me, that's what's interesting. And again, it's, you know, there's a Bigfoot in every state. There's not a Jersey Devil in every state, you know. So it's not like, oh, you know, in Montana they have something like that. It's really very unique.
That's amazing. Where can people learn more about the Jersey Devil?
So
is there a great book or a great place for people to go?
There are lots of great books. There are, and I would encourage people to actually read some of the more academic folkloric books produced by the Rutgers University Press. There's a book by a gentleman named, I'm going to get this wrong because I didn't look it up, but his last name is McCoy. There's also a really wonderful professor emeritus from Rutgers named Angus Gillespie, who has lots of YouTube videos and who has absolutely devoted himself. He is one of the most phenomenal popular New Jersey historians, and is just absolutely a gift. And you can go online and listen to him, and it's a treat to hear him talk about New Jersey's history and to weave in the history of the Jersey Devil and its use in history. So I really encourage you to do that. Again, his name is Dr. Angus Gillespie. You'll just have a great time listening to him.
And this is why we have a historian on this podcast, a true anomaly in the paranormal podcasting field, as far as I know. So that sounds amazing. If you'd like to learn more about the Jersey Devil, cryptids, New Jersey's history, all things paranormal, please do come on down to Asbury Park to the Paranormal Museum with the Kathy A. Kelly as proprietress. And absolutely, please, if you enjoyed the podcast, tell your friends, like, share, follow, leave us a comment so we can keep bringing more interesting paranormal content to you. And until next time, I am Traci Stein.
I'm Kathy Kelly.
And this has been an episode of Curious Explorers.
I'm sorry, Traci.